getting faster at it. All right, this next one. What should jump out at you?
Infinity.
When you've got stuff going to negative or positive infinity, there's really only one kind of technique you're thinking about, and that is infinite limits. So you have to do what? Divide by the highest power of x. Okay? It's different than the one right below it, where this one probably goes to infinity. This one, you're taking x to infinity and finding out what happens. And so if I look at this, my highest power of x is x cubed. So I'm going to divide everything by x cubed. And when I do that, that turns into a 4 plus 5 over x cubed and 6 over x squared minus 3. The reason we did that is so that we can get stuff to go bye-bye, right? When we plug it in now, what happens to those two? Go to 0, right? Go to 0. And you're just left with a 4 on the top and a negative 3 on the bottom. Yes?
You can only do that for infinity, right?
Right. Doesn't work for anything else.
So for some reason I started factoring it out, or like just taking x's out of the bottom, and what I saw is that I couldn't do anything once I started doing that.
Yep.
It didn't come out to be the answer, so it's just right off the bat. You can do that
When I see this,
x power.
when I'm seeing this, almost my first thought is dividing by the highest power of x. I kind of skip over all the factoring and even plugging in infinity because it's a fraction, and I don't know. You can still go down the list. You're probably all right. You know, the factoring didn't help you any. You never know. It might, and you might end up with infinity as an answer. But 9 times out of 10, the reason they got you that problem was to do that dividing by the highest power of x. All right, this one here. When you first look at this, what's it kind of keying you into?
Graph, just smaller than
That one-sided limit thing, right? Your answers might be an infinity, right? Because the bottom, you end up with a one-sided because you can't do anything else. Watch out, though, just because that's there, don't forget about step 1. All right? If this is a negative 3 from the left, everything works fine. And people will mess that up just because of that. But if I plug in 3, 3 minus 3 is 0. Still try and factor as well. Don't forget about doing that. These problems look real simple. Just jump on it, but be careful. I might throw one in at you that doesn't fit this bill.
Will you end up with the wrong answer if you did try to do something instead of...
Oh, there's only really one answer.
Okay.
And I mean, you might do some student reasoning and get an answer that seems right, but it might not be. You just never know. But this one here, no factoring, no nothing else, so we know that it goes to an infinity. We just got to decide positive infinity or negative infinity. And the way we do that, since that's a negative, that means coming in from the left. So I pick a number a little bit to the left of 3, which is 2.9. And I plug that in there and there. And I'm not worried about the value, I just want to know positive or negative. So on the top, positive, and on the bottom, positive. So this is positive